Chosen ones, what you have done is far beyond human comprehension. Every action of yours, every moment of surrender, every act of pure love and selflessness has sent ripples through the fabric of the universe. What you sacrificed in the natural world has created a force so powerful that even the heavens themselves trembled. Do you understand the weight of what you've done? It wasn't just a small offering, it was a spiritual quake that rattled the very gates of the divine. Heaven was watching every moment, recording every tear, every silent struggle, every time you gave when you had nothing left to give. Those around you may have failed to see your true worth, but God saw. The spiritual realm felt your sacrifice and responded. The magnitude of your actions was so great that it reverberated across dimensions and through time. While the world may have remained blind to your power, heaven has not overlooked your obedience. What you've done has stirred something in the unseen, and the divine is now preparing to act. Every moment you spent in silence, every unjust circumstance you endured, and every ounce of energy you expended for the greater good has been recognized and accounted for in eternity. You didn't just sacrifice for yourself, you sacrificed for others, your family, your bloodline, your future. Your willingness to serve, even when it cost you everything, has created a wave of change, a force that is now unstoppable. The time has come for that sacrifice to bear fruit. You may not have seen it yet, but heaven is moving on your behalf. The divine is about to shift the balance in your favor, and what will follow will not only surprise those who took you for granted, but it will shake the very foundations of what they believed to be true. This moment is your awakening, chosen ones. The shockwave of your sacrifice has set into motion a chain of events that is about to unfold. Watch closely, for this is only the beginning, and what follows will change everything. The invisible sacrifice. You've given more than anyone knows. Your sacrifice has not been seen by the world, but it has been felt in the spiritual realm. Every act of kindness, every moment you chose to serve without recognition, has been recorded in the annals of heaven. It's easy to feel invisible in a world that values only what's seen. It's easy to wonder if what you're doing matters when you give, and yet receive nothing in return. But I want you to hear me now. Nothing you've done has been in vain. Your sacrifice has had an eternal impact that reaches far beyond what the human eye can perceive. The world may not have noticed, but the heavens did. God has been watching, taking note of every quiet moment where you chose truth over convenience, where you walked the path of righteousness even when it was the hardest thing to do. Every time you held your tongue when you wanted to speak out. Every time you resisted the urge to fight back. Every time you chose forgiveness over bitterness, heaven saw. These acts, though invisible to those around you, were monumental in the spiritual realm. You were shifting mountains, breaking strongholds, and tearing down barriers that no one could see but the divine. You didn't just carry your own burdens. You carried the weight of your ancestors' pain, the scars of your bloodline's struggles, and the future of your generations to come. Every sacrifice you made, every ounce of love you gave, was not just for the present moment. It was a seed planted for the future, for those who would come after you. And as you gave, the chains of generational curses were broken. The spiritual bondages that held your bloodline in darkness for so long began to crack, shatter, and fall away. What you did in silence, what you endured in secret, was not just about you. It was about the restoration of everything that was stolen from you and your lineage. Your sacrifice was not only seen in the heavens, it was felt across time. The force you created with your selflessness is undeniable, and its consequences will be felt for generations. You may have felt like no one was watching, like your sacrifice went unnoticed, but heaven recorded every moment. God has seen it all, the pain, the loneliness, the rejection, and the countless times you chose to love when others chose to hate. Your heart, pure and unwavering, has left an indelible mark on the divine realm. And now, chosen ones, what was invisible will be made visible. The time has come for the fruit of your sacrifice to manifest. God is about to honor your selflessness in ways you never thought possible. The world may not have recognized your worth, but heaven has been keeping a record of your obedience. and the reward for your sacrifices will be greater than you can imagine. Spiritual forces in action. What you've done has set spiritual forces in motion. Every act of kindness, every silent moment of suffering, every sacrifice has not only been noticed, but has activated a response in the unseen realm. Do you realize that the heavens have been waiting for this moment? Every injustice you suffered, every betrayal you endured, every time you were dismissed. These acts have all been logged in the spiritual realm, and the forces of heaven are now gathering, preparing to act on your behalf. The divine has been watching, and the time for retribution has come. The spiritual laws of justice are not just passive, they are active and they are unfolding right now. Every time you chose righteousness over revenge, heaven took note. Every tear you shed in silence became a seed for a future harvest. What you thought were moments of defeat were actually setups for your victory. The enemy believed they could break you, silence you, and diminish your power, but they were wrong. Their plans were built on deception, but the foundation of your spirit is built on truth. Now, as the divine laws of justice unfold, those who took you for granted will be forced to reckon with the power you carry. The spiritual forces that have been mobilized on your behalf will ensure that justice is served. Those who overlooked your worth, who mistreated you, who disregarded your sacrifice, will now face the consequences of their actions. You've planted seeds of righteousness, and the harvest is coming. The forces of the divine will move in ways that will surprise even the most hardened of hearts. The moment has arrived when the spiritual realm will respond. The darkness that tried to consume you is now retreating in fear of the light that you carry. What was meant to destroy you will now serve as the foundation for your rise. Those who dismissed you, who thought they could walk all over you, will soon understand that they were standing in the presence of greatness. They will witness your elevation, your restoration, and your power. And the spiritual forces that were activated by your sacrifice will not stop until divine justice has been fully executed. As the divine moves, everything is shifting. The barriers that once held you back are crumbling. The chains that once bound you are being broken. The doors that were closed to you are now opening. Your rise is unstoppable, chosen ones, because you are not fighting this battle alone. Heaven is working on your behalf, and the spiritual forces that have been waiting for this moment are now in full motion. What you've done in silence, what you've endured in secret, is about to be recognized by all. The divine forces are now aligned, and justice is on its way. The spiritual realm has heard your sacrifice, and its response is inevitable. Watch as divine retribution unfolds. Watch as the forces of the unseen move, and watch as the power you carry is revealed in ways you could never have imagined. In the power of endurance. Chosen ones, your endurance is a weapon unlike any other. The world may have seen your struggle, your suffering, your pain, but it failed to see the immense power you were cultivating in the unseen. Every step you took in faith, every moment you held on when everything within you wanted to let go, was building a spiritual strength that would one day leave the world in awe. The truth is, your endurance wasn't just a test of your physical capacity. It was the training ground for a divine authority that could not be shaken. You faced the storms of life, the ridicule, the betrayal, the exhaustion, and yet you never gave up. Each day you chose to rise. Each hour you chose to keep going. The unseen battles that raged inside of you, the wars no one else knew you were fighting, have forged a resilience in you that is indomitable. And while the world may have mistaken your silence for weakness, your refusal to retaliate for helplessness, they didn't understand the power that was being built in you. In your endurance, you became stronger. In your quiet suffering, you became more powerful than the forces that sought to crush you. Every time you chose to endure rather than succumb, you dismantled the walls that had confined you. You shattered the chains that once held your spirit captive. Your endurance wasn't just for you. It was for every person, every family, and every generation that will come after you. Your ability to withstand what others could not even imagine has set the stage for a legacy of strength, for a future where your endurance will inspire others to rise, just as you have. In the silence of your struggles, in the depths of your pain, You've built an unshakable foundation, and now nothing can stop you. What you endured has transformed you into a force of spiritual power, and this is only the beginning. The power of silence and humility. Chosen ones, they never understood your silence. They mocked your humility, mistaking it for weakness, unaware that it was your greatest weapon. The world didn't realize that in your silence you were gathering strength, and in your humility you were disarming your enemies. They believed your patience was a flaw. They thought your willingness to be overlooked, your ability to endure mistreatment, was a sign of powerlessness. But they were wrong. Every time you chose to remain quiet when your soul screamed for justice, you tapped into a divine reserve of power that few could comprehend. Your silence was not an admission of defeat. It was a declaration of authority, of knowing that you didn't need to shout to be heard, that you didn't need to fight back to win. Every time you humbled yourself, every time you chose peace over conflict, you positioned yourself in alignment with a higher purpose. Your humility did not make you small, it made you powerful. The world may have ridiculed you, misunderstood your actions, but they didn't see the spiritual forces aligning around you, ready to move at the perfect moment. God saw your heart, He saw the quiet strength in your soul, and He was preparing a time when that silence would become louder than any shout, when that humility would be recognized as the true strength it was. In the quiet spaces, in the moments when you chose to remain calm in the face of adversity, you were crafting your future. The world may have believed they could manipulate you, dismiss you, or take advantage of your kindness, but they didn't understand that your humility was a shield, and your silence was a weapon that was preparing to unleash a divine force. Now, as you step into your power, the world will no longer underestimate you. Your silence has spoken louder than any words could have, and your humility has proven to be the bedrock of your strength. The time has come for your voice to be heard, and when it speaks, the earth will listen. What they saw as meekness was the true strength of the divine working in you. The moment of revelation has arrived. Divine justice, the reckoning begins. The time has come. The spiritual forces are aligning, and divine justice is about to unfold. For all the moments you suffered in silence, for all the times you were overlooked and dismissed, the scales of justice are now tipping in your favor. Heaven has watched every moment, every betrayal, every time you chose righteousness over revenge, every time you chose love over hate, and now, the time has come for those who took you for granted to face the consequences of their actions. Divine justice does not operate by the world's rules. It is not bound by time, nor does it rely on human understanding. While the world may have thought you were weak, it will soon learn the truth of your power. The forces that have been aligned in the unseen realm are now moving. The energy you've created through your sacrifices, through your endurance, through your silence, is now activating a response that will leave no stone unturned. God has been taking note. Your obedience, your loyalty, your love, your patience, it has all been recorded, and now the divine will address the wrongs that were done to you. The ones who mocked you, the ones who manipulated you, the ones who thought they could disregard your value, are now going to feel the weight of what they've done. Divine justice is not about revenge, it's about alignment. It's about balance. What was taken from you is being returned, what was stolen is being restored, and what was broken is being healed. This is not the moment to shrink back or second-guess what's happening. This is the moment when the divine hand moves, when the enemies who thought they were untouchable begin to feel the weight of their actions. The reckoning is here. They will see the power of the one they dismissed. They will see the anointing they overlooked. The divine laws are being enacted, and the energy that you created with your sacrifices is now shifting the spiritual realms. What was once a time of suffering for you is now the time of elevation. The justice that was stored up in heaven is now coming down to meet you, and the divine response will be one of restoration, power, and undeniable authority. Watch closely, because this moment marks the beginning of everything you've been waiting for. The reckoning has begun, and those who took you for granted will see exactly what happens when you mess with God's chosen ones. The awakening of true power. Chosen ones, the time has come for the awakening of a power within you that has been lying dormant, waiting for the right moment to rise. You have been through the fire, through trials that many would not have survived, and now those experiences are awakening the power that was always within you. Every ounce of suffering you endured, every moment you felt alone, every tear that fell, has built the foundation of an unstoppable force within your spirit. The strength that was forged in the silence, the resilience that was cultivated in the struggle, and the wisdom that was birthed in pain have all come together to make you a force of divine power. The world may have tried to break you, to silence you, to make you feel insignificant, but what they failed to realize was that your power was never meant to be hidden. It was meant to be unleashed. What was once seen as weakness in you is now the source of your greatest strength. What once tried to crush you now serves as the fuel for your rise. The awakening of your true power is not just about you, it's about the ripple effect you will have on everyone around you. As you rise, so too will those connected to you. Your power is not just personal, it is transformative. You are chosen to carry a light that will shine in places that have never known light before. Your power is spiritual, it is eternal, and it is yours by divine right. The time of hiding is over. The time of shrinking back is done. You are stepping into the fullness of who you were always meant to be, and as you do, the world will stand in awe. Your true power has been awakened, and it will never be dimmed again, restoring what was lost. Chosen ones, the divine has seen your sacrifices, your struggles, your perseverance, and now restoration is coming. What was lost to you, whether it was your time, your relationships, your peace, or your dreams, is being returned. You may have believed that your losses were permanent, that the things that were taken from you could never be restored, but the truth is, divine restoration is more powerful than anything the enemy could ever steal. Every setback you faced, every moment you thought you couldn't recover, has been setting the stage for your restoration. God has not forgotten what was taken from you. What was stolen is being returned, and it will come back to you in a greater measure. The enemy thought that by taking from you, they could weaken you, but they didn't realize that what they took was only creating space for the divine to move in. Your losses were never the end, they were only the beginning. What once seemed lost is now being restored, not just to you, but to the generations that came before and after you. The cycle of loss is over. What was broken is now being made whole. The foundation that was shaken is now being rebuilt stronger than ever. You are stepping into a season of restoration, where everything that was taken from you will be returned, but with an anointing that cannot be taken. This is a divine restoration, chosen ones, and it is not just about regaining what you once had. It is about receiving something greater than you ever thought possible. Everything you lost will be restored, and it will be a testimony to the faithfulness of the God who never abandoned you. The divine response to the markers. Chosen ones, for so long you were marked. You were misunderstood, belittled, and disregarded by those who couldn't see the greatness within you. They laughed at your kindness, thought your patience was weakness, and assumed your humility was a flaw. They assumed they could walk all over you, that you would always be there to give, to serve, to forgive. But they were wrong. What they failed to understand was that your actions were not weakness. They were strength in disguise. Every time they mocked you, they only made the divine plan stronger. Every moment they thought they had the upper hand, heaven was working on your behalf. Now the time has come for the divine response. The tables are turning, and those who mocked you will soon see the full force of the power they underestimated. What they thought would silence you is now the very thing that will elevate you. Your endurance, your patience, your kindness, these are not weaknesses, they are divine weapons. Those who thought they could discard you, who thought they could ignore you, are now about to witness your rise. What once seemed like your downfall is now the very thing that will position you for victory. The markers are about to realize that they never had control. They were never in charge. Divine justice is unfolding, and the markers will see exactly what happens when you mess with God's chosen. Your rise is unstoppable, and their mockery will turn to regret. They will see the glory that was hidden in you all along, and they will understand that what they took for granted was never yours to give away. The divine response is coming, and it will leave no doubt that God's chosen ones cannot be mocked. Conclusion: Stepping into your legacy. Chosen ones, the time has come for you to step fully into your legacy. What you have endured, what you have sacrificed, has prepared you for this moment. You are not just stepping into your future, you are stepping into a legacy that will change the course of history. Your journey has been one of transformation. What was once broken is now whole. What was once hidden is now revealed. And what was once thought impossible is now within your reach. You were never just another person. You were chosen, handpicked, set apart for a purpose greater than anything you could have imagined. The struggles you faced were not random. They were the tools that shaped you into the powerful being you are today. The road ahead is not one of defeat, but of victory, not of survival, but of thriving. You have endured, you have conquered, and now it is time for the world to see the fullness of your power. Your legacy is not just about personal success. It's about the impact you will have on those around you and those who will come after you. Your rise is not just for you, it's for your family, your community, your nation, and for all of creation. As you step into your destiny, you will leave behind a blueprint for others to follow. You are laying the foundation for future generations to walk in the freedom you have fought for. Your life was never random. Your purpose was never meaningless. Everything you have done has been building towards this moment. Now you are stepping into your true purpose, into the divine legacy that was always meant for you. This is the moment when everything shifts. You are no longer the person who was overlooked or dismissed. You are the one who will change the world. The heavens are behind you, the angels are cheering you on, and God has already marked your path. This is your time, chosen ones. The world is about to see the full manifestation of your divine legacy. Step boldly into it. The time has arrived.